Alrighty, good morning everyone. Welcome to this episode of Transport Fever 2. We are starting a new map and a new Let's Play series. This is my first Let's Play series on YouTube, so I am learning quite a bit as I go, so please bear with me. Today we are going to be setting up a all cities, all goods network. And I have a very large megalomaniac map here where it's a 4x1. In other words, we got four big old maps stacked on top of each other here. So it's a really long map. So we can get some really long train lines going for bullet trains. Now I don't have any industries placed, which allows us to place the industries where we want them. Now I do this because the game really, once you kind of get one or two lines set up, it's really not about making money, and it truly isn't. So I enjoy just setting up complex networks, making it look neat, making it functional, and trying to follow the topographical routes. So now what I've done here is I've generated a map here that is kind of relatively, it's not completely flat. There is difference in elevation as you travel the map, but we have lots of flat area. And the benefit of having a lot of flat area is with some mods, we can allow these cities to really sprawl. And we don't have to worry about creeping into mountains and getting all sorts of weird kind of hilly roads and things like that. So we will create some of our own terraforming. I do have terraforming free mod installed. So we will be adding elevation where we want it so that we can have nice little overpasses, underpasses, all sorts of things of that nature. So I hope you come along with me for this ride. I really, really love this game. It's something that I've been playing for many years. I always enjoy watching other people on YouTube do this, and it's kind of inspired me to do one of my own here. So now what we're going to do here is we're going to set up a real simple fuel delivery network just to kind of get the grease going. We need some cash, right? We need some cash so that we can start to do our dream kind of network. And I'd already done an episode. Unfortunately, the audio didn't record, so I'm redoing it. So a lot of this I've had. Fortunately, I've had a chance to kind of figure out how I want to start. And so maybe that'll speed this along here a little bit. So bear with me as we relay the foundation here to kind of get our little rock city started here with a simple fuel network going. And then we'll get the food going. And then we'll just see where the city grows from there. I do have it set to not auto delete or auto add industries. Again, we're in sandbox mode, so we can add the industries we want. We do also have a mod installed that I believe, yeah, enables workers. So that also gives us an opportunity to set up some commute trains to our factory complexes. Now, one of the things that I really like to do is incorporate the industrial areas into our metroplexes, because in reality you don't have big old giant industrial complexes out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, there's always a support town nearby. There's always, workers have to have some place to live and shop and eat and all that other fun stuff. So I typically try to set up industry within the industry zones of my towns and allow the town to grow around that industry. So you'll see some of that hopefully throughout this episode. Alrighty, well, let's get started here. Now, again, I have had an opportunity to kind of figure out how I want to lay this all down. So I'm going to go and just get started here. We're going to go ahead and terraform a little bit right off the bat. And we don't have to worry about the cost, so I've got the big brushes installed. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw this flatness out towards the mountain here, just so that I have somewhere to put our station. And we're not going to go all the way to the river, but we're going to give ourselves enough room back here to where we can get a nice big station in. And we're going to have the track kind of just follow the base of this mountain around the corner here. And then we'll smooth this out here so it looks a little more all natural. You won't even be able to tell we did anything. Alright, so there we go. We got our smoothness going on now. We'll kind of flatten this out a little bit. And I'm definitely a fan of Bob Ross, so you might hear some of our little, put a little happy tree moments in here and there. So, alright, let's go ahead and get our first station laid. Now, the reason why I kind of lay this station first is because stations grab the names of the towns they're nearby. And so I just kind of like to get the stations set up so that I don't have to go around and redo a whole bunch of station naming because it gets tedious. Alright, so I'm going to keep it real simple right off the bat. We can grow this thing later, but for now, I have this mod that allows me to turn on this thing. You know, it allows me to set all these defaults. It's really handy, I'm going to be honest with you. So we are going to do the modulars, and we're going to do double track. And then for block 2, we're going to do our passing. And what that essentially does is it allows us to... how long is this thing? Is it 310? 320? Yeah, that's good enough. It allows us to kind of set up our first station right out the go here. Alright, I think that's good enough for that. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing the passenger side just yet, just because we don't really need the workers yet. The workers don't really get profitable until the industry grows a few times. I think by default, the first level industry only will demand 50 workers. And that's just not really enough to support a train. But once we get both the oil, or the food, and the fuel going, then we'll have some demand for like a couple hundred employees, and then we can go ahead and get a really good commuter network going. And again, we'll flush this out a little bit more. Right now, I'm just trying to keep the maintenance down, and each of these platforms is going to charge us a fee every cycle. So again, for right now, I'm putting it there so I kind of know where I need to place my roads, where I need to have my bus depot, not depots, but you know, the stations and things like that. Alright, so again, I'm just putting that there as a marker so I can get the road out here. And then we'll kind of be on our way. So let's kind of get our Let's get our connection here. And what I really normally like to do is use a street station to give me a true um, 90-degree angle off this thing. Come on. Now we have a nice little snap too. Can we grow it? Yeah, we can grow it. So let's start it on as a 4-lane. And then I'll get rid of this guy here. Oops. Alright. And then I think we can sneak by that guy without intersecting him. Good. And we'll kind of bring him out this way a little bit. There we go. Alright, and then we'll just help our roads along here. And we can bring it through so it's just a nice natural kind of intersection there. Then we'll go and take this nut off. And we'll kind of start to round the corner here a little bit. Now, the nice thing about doing this for your cities is it kind of helps them grow, especially with the train station, because buildings will kind of build right near a train station. So you can kind of encourage your cities to grow in the directions that you place freight roads, not freight roads, but depots and passenger stations. I'm going to bring him all the way through because I like to have a nice tramway. Alright, so typically a lot of times what I'll do is I'll bring the bypass lanes, the through station lanes, straight out, and then allow my tracks to merge in off those. You want to keep them as straight as you can for as long as you can. That helps with any junctions you need to set up. Now, we probably got a little too close to this mountain here. Fortunately, it's not a big deal. We'll just kind of... We'll take a little chunk of it out here. And we'll smooth it down here later. Once we get our track placed. Alright, so we'll keep this fairly... So we're rounding the bend there. And you can see we get a little bit of elevation there at the corner. And because we have some elevation there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually bring our track this way first a little bit. Our double track didn't like that. I hate that mod. auto double it ourselves, I guess. That's the whole point of this thing, is so I don't Alright, so we're going to now start our cross. I think we're going to wind up taking that road out anyways. Although, frankly, I could probably make that a bridge if we really wanted to. I wonder if we just need to go a little bit higher. I'm trying to remember what it is to go up a little bit. That's just at a bad angle. Well, here's what we will do then. We will try to looks like we went up just to go back down, so back to here. And we'll draw that road back in here in a moment. And this is exactly why I like to have the Terraform mod in, because now I can clean this up and we can kind of make this ground look like it hasn't been elevated. And you won't even know we went slicing and dicing into the mountain there. Highway tool here and start drawing our road back. Yeah, I know we could have drawn that straight, but I like how the country roads look windy from time to time looks anyway, so we'll go ahead and just use that there. Alright, so that should get us at least started. Now, one of the things we're going to need to do is we're going to need to process that crude into, well, let's go ahead and place our crude so that we know we have it over here. I'm going to get another road placed. did. And we'll go ahead and smooth it out in here so that it doesn't look like we just slapped it in there. We might actually flatten that first and then we'll smooth it out. Alright, not too bad. Alrighty, so now we got our crude. And we're going to process our crude into oil over here-ish. Road again, and we'll go ahead and use our flatten tool to kind of give us a nice flat plateau here to work off of. Now, like I said, this is kind of how we'll do some of this elevation, and it doesn't take much to allow you to have some nice flying J's and things of that nature, but I like to keep it neat. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our road down so we can get our station down. You know what? If I place the station there, it's gonna call it Norfolk. So let's just give our Norfolk station first. Now I'm going to make this a really, really small station just so that I'm just claiming the name right now. That's all I'm doing here. I'm just claiming the name. And we'll put this off of a street just so we have some catchment. And who knows, maybe we'll send a little commuter bus or something over here to yeah, so we captured that name. Alright, so now I don't know what name this guy's gonna choose, but it's not gonna be Norfolk. We're gonna wind up changing it anyways, but alrighty, so let's get our road down. Again, to get the really straight roads, it's always, I guess here it doesn't technically matter. I mean, we don't need a true 90-degree angle on that, but I like 90-degree angles. What can I say? I'm just a square guy. Dope! Homer Simpson dope. Alright, that's easy enough to fix. So what we'll do here is we'll come off this road. And we'll just bulldoze that. And we'll draw this guy through. Actually, now that I've cleared that little nub out of the way, why don't we actually get that catchment right up against the, well, I know why we're not going to do that, because it's going to make putting any other industries in more difficult, so we'll just leave it as is. Alright, so we got that. We're going to get rid of this guy because we don't need him. Don't need the expense right now. Put our road in. Get rid of that boy. And now we can place the cargo station. Alright, so yeah, we're going to need that slightly longer than that. So we're going to set it to 320. And for now, I think that will will be good enough, although just to kind of make it symmetric, what we may do is put another double track on the other side. The truth is, we'll need to turn that other side into the commuter side anyway, so we didn't really need that extra expense right off the bat. But I'm just trying to get it up so that we can start getting some revenue coming in. Because we can actually... Oh, I didn't get this. Damn it. And the wrong track selected. We want to upgrade this to catenary. I like to actually run electric freight so that we can take advantage of the 99 miles an hour wagons. Alright, next time I'll make sure we place that correctly so we don't have to upgrade it. And we're coming off the... And again, we want to kind of keep this straight and flat just while we do our platform management. And then we can start adjusting for elevation. So let's go ahead and kind of bring this way. There we go. That should be plenty of room to kind of get the platforms in and out. And now we'll kind of allow it to do whatever it wants to do And we're obviously not going to build a bridge that long. But what we will do is allow the ground, and then we'll come in and terraform it and make it nice and pretty. So I like to follow the ground here. I don't know why it's because I have it on the level ground and not smooth ground. We'll fix that here in a moment. I know this kind of looks terraced right now, but our smooth ground will take care of that. So, again, it doesn't look real hilly, but that's actually a pretty steep grade. Especially with a full train, that's gonna, we're not gonna be able to ignore that. So we'll have to make sure we have enough power, tractive effort, all that other fun stuff. Alright, so now that we have the through stations connected, what I typically like to do is get my signals going. And I have another tool, you're going to find that I'm a mod addict. I definitely use mods. Auto places signatures or signals. So what I'll do is I set them to every 500 meters, and then I start right at the first, segment I can off of a station. And what this does is just kind of gets us our track kind of divided. And then coming from the other way, this didn't terminate at the station right exactly, so this last segment's going to be a little bit longer than 500, but it is what it is. And we'll do that. Now we kind of have nice little 500 segments for the whole journey. And then we'll come in here and we'll kind of clean up these signals that we don't need. Goodbye. And we don't need these two. Alrighty, now we just need to get our platforms going. Now typically these inner platforms, these are no-brainers. I just kind of use them as a pass-through. One way only, one way in, one way out. And for right now, because we just want to get the line up and running, where's our cross? There it is. So, should I have the double track on? Didn't need that. Merge this back in here. And again, because I run the high-speed trains, I try to get my junctions to be high speed as well, as best I can. But I also like them to be a little uniform, so there we go. Alright, so that'll work for now. And then because we're just going to be temporarily coming out the back here for our depot, this is going to get moved. I didn't have the electrification enabled. Alright, so alright, actually, now I remember how I like to do this. It's funny, when you haven't played the game in a while, you tend to forget all your little secrets. Alright. And the reason I do that is because it allows us to go in and then come back out with a double slip. do that on this other one here. I forgot how I did that. I knew that I had them uniformed before. I just can't remember. Well, we start to curve there, so we're actually back these guys up a bit. And I know that's not ideal. That's just temporary. We're going to clean that up later. This is just to enable us to do our first line so that we can just get the trucks a-rolling, you know. Let's go ahead and get our depot placed. We need a cargo depot. It'll fit in there. We gotta figure out where our fuel needs to go. And unfortunately, it's a little bit away from where this train station is, so we're gonna have to set up a delivery line, which is fine. These little delivery lines they don't make a lot of money, but the train more than makes up for it, so it's not a big deal at all. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and create our delivery line from there to there. And we're going to name this Freight Road. Little Rock. Fuel delivery. And I call them my UPS lines to look like a UPS truck, so in this case it's actually not a UPS truck. We'll actually be using a tanker, just because they're a little more efficient. In the beginning, these efficiencies matter. So let's go and get us a tanker truck. Now, I don't need to buy the most expensive one right off the bat. I could probably run this guy for a few years. You know what? I think I will, actually. What's his upkeep? 85,000 versus, yeah, 185. What's this? 151. 87. We'll just run this guy for a few years. We just need a truck on the line to kind of activate it, if you will. And then we're going to go ahead and set up the start to get our crude going, because you actually need more crude than you do oil. So it's always good to get that started and running to kind of I don't know if you want to use the word pre-pump or pre whatever, get this guy some inventory, basically. Alright, so This is a freight train, and we're going to call this Little Rock Crude. All right. And believe it or not, I think that will get crude going for us. So let's go and get a train ordered here. And again, because we're just in the early stages of this, and I don't want to be running a ton of maintenance, yeah, I thought there was a pretty big difference between those. So we don't need to be running really big heavy trains just yet. So we will kind of $180. I can't remember which one of those is the American and which one of those is the European. I'm pretty sure that this is the American. Oh, doesn't really matter. So we're down to mediocre already. Man, that didn't take long. Well, we do have that pretty steep grade, so I think that's going to be plenty. And it'll at least just get the pipeline started. Alright. This is always the fun part. I enjoy watching the trains on their maiden voyage. And we've already got crude kind of building up at the station here. Struggling to get his and we may carve into that mountain a little bit more. Wouldn't want rock slides coming right down on top of the train like that. Alrighty. First road delivery or crossing. Our very first delivery. Alright, that's the start of it, folks. We got the first leg of our fuel line set up. And now we'll go ahead and start building out the fuel factory depot and get it connected up and get the oil delivered to it, and it'll bring fuel back to the oil, and then the crude leg will pick up the fuel and bring it back to town. So it's kind of like a pick up and drop off and pick up here, and then there'll be a different line that'll pick up, drop off, pick up, drop off, pick up kind of scenario. So it'll work out. So we're going to go ahead and start to lay down our second station now. Now here's what I'm debating. I'm debating, should I stop this episode here and split this into two separate episodes, or should I make this one big long episode? I'm tempted to go ahead and cut this now, so that way I can have a 30-40 minute episode to get uploaded. So why don't we do that? Why don't we go ahead and stop here, and we will come back in episode 2 for the rest of this build out, and I hope that you come along for the journey. Again, I'm brand new at this, so please forgive the rawness, the roughness. I'm just now learning the video editing pieces of this. I still don't know how to do graphics very well, so there's not going to be any splashy branding or anything like that. But, you know, we'll get there eventually, all in due course. But mostly, I just enjoy playing these games. And I've watched guys do this online for years, and I'm always like, you know, I would do that a little bit differently. And so here we are. I'm going to just do it, you know. Nobody's going to stop me. I'm just going to do it. And probably nobody will watch, but who knows. All right. Thanks, everyone.